you look around the league, there's a lot of teams, in the hunt. We're in the hunt. You sit here and you say, hey, Thanksgiving, and close to the end of November, and we're in the hunt. When you sit around that table tomorrow, you're saying we're in the hunt. And there's a lot of teams that wish they were in the hunt. But we're in the hunt.
I was just on The Price is Right, and I want a brand new BMW, and I'm disappointed because it's not my favorite color. Like, that's the level of spoiledness I was following the Bills game. It's like, oh, new car. Oh, could it be blue instead of brown? I guess. We're such little bitches. We've become such soft little bitches.
Yeah, well, that's
how I felt.
That's the key is to take a breath and enjoy this game no matter what. Because I was ready to come in here, do a Kyle impression, and be like, hey, do we have to worry about the Bills' run defense?
Wait, he Popeye who's been beaten over the head with like
man?
I think that's a pretty good
I'm not
Kyle.
saying I don't say dumb things, but give me a little more credit on the impression.
Hey, is the Bills... the Bills...
At least let him speak English, Sean.
No, I won't.
He does speak it. He served our country. He speaks English. Give him that. I want you to do the rest of the pod as really bad Kyle.
I have something to say later. Please don't do the rest of the pod in that voice.
It's funny because there's two Kyles. The listener doesn't know. That's why you got to watch on YouTube, because the listener doesn't know which Kyle is speaking now.
Yeah, that's right. The Bills beat the Green Bay Packers like super, super bad, but the game was closer than we thought because the second half wasn't that bad. Just in case someone's just tuning in,
yeah,
and they want to know what we're talking about. That's
in case no one if you're not a Bills fan and you decided this is the first podcast you'll listen to jump into your Bills fandom.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Yeah.
Also, Kyle served this country, but he doesn't know how to read. Hence the impression. Yes. You're caught up. Okay,
you don't got to read to protect our borders. You do not.
Kyle,
they'll tell you where the borders are. You don't have to find them. You don't have to read about them. Just there's our borders. You protect them. Here you go. Here's some nice pictures.
Kyle's only read one thing, and it was the Constitution.
and he had a bulletproof vest in front of it. That's what he did. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the game here. The second half, you brought it up, Greg. One of the most bizarre second half and fourth quarters I've not ever seen, but in a while, because it just seemed like they got caught up trying to punk Alexander, or just they're trying to force it too much. I didn't know what was going on. It just seemed, and then to add into that, the Packers seemed like they didn't want to win. They kept running the ball like they were trying to end the game. It was just a very bizarre second half. It had is this game still on vibe?
I agree. Like it makes no sense. That was a coach that didn't want to lose by a lot. Like he just knew his team was outclassed. His quarterback could no longer do it. It was so fun seeing Aaron Rodgers just so unbelievably frustrated at every turn. And even when his team had control of the game, they were so far out of it. So it was kind of pathetic. It was the Bills against Brady. That's what that was. Doesn't matter what you do. You're not beating that team. He can score touchdowns if he needs to. So just try and keep it out of his hands is what they were trying to do with Josh Allen.
I mean, even when they got within 10 near the end there, I'm like, well, they're not going to lose this. Like, I'm annoyed that this game that I'm not seeing Case Keenum right now, but like, I wasn't worried about the game.
No, I was annoyed that Allen wasn't anywhere near 300 yards. Like I want him to lead the league in passing and a bunch of quarterbacks gain ground on him. I don't even play fantasy anymore. And I'm like, I wanted stats. I wanted Diggs to have more touchdowns and Davis get in there. Like I wanted more stats. So it was kind of like, oh.
And Kyle, what was it like there for the second half? I mean, I know you might be a fair weather fan now. Would you leave at the 2-minute?
I did leave with 10 minutes left in the game. Here was the thought process and leaving that early. Especially for a primetime game, 8:30, is I left and I was in bed asleep by midnight with 10 minutes left in the game. I was asleep by midnight. Had I stayed, I'm home maybe at 1:30, 1:45. Mm-hmm. And I just couldn't do that anymore. My body is dying slowly from that. So I can't do that. But one of my friends who I tailgate with put it perfectly during the Steelers game. We left it like midway through the third quarter in the Steelers game, if you remember me saying. And the Bills were up by like 30. And he was like, let's get out of here. And I was like, naturally, I just go, no, you stay to the end. It'll be fun. The Bills are blowing them out. And he was like, yeah, the Bills have been in the lead the whole time. We're either going to watch them win, like we've watched the whole game, or it's going to be some insane comeback and we're going to be pissed off. And I was like, that's all true. So he's like, I've watched them win the whole game. I'd rather get more sleep than get less sleep and be mad.
Does that worry you at all, though? I mean, the Kyle of, during the drought era would staple himself to the seat. I mean, I'm
telling you, man. Well, the Kyle during the drought era also used to drink 40 Bud Lights and could get up the next day at 6 a.m. off of 3 hours of sleep and do everything perfectly. And now my hair is falling out. So I can't do the same things anymore.
Well, I support the leaving early. And the logic behind it is like we watch them win. Only bad things can happen from here. Let's get out of here and get into bed. And you know what? You're helping all those other people that want to stay and watch the game. They get out just a little bit earlier because Kyle is all the way out of the way.
The younger people also, the younger people have had it 100%. I did it. The single game ticket buyers, 100. That's your event for maybe the month. Have at it. I got to go to all these, so it hurts. And I can't do it. I think what I think happened, and Sean, I think you nailed it in the second half. I think it was getting pretty chirpy naturally. And I obviously Allen and Diggs are as competitive as anyone could probably possibly be. And I think they were like, Allen specifically, I think he was like, I'm going to pile it on. Fuck these guys. And he fucked up.
Yeah.
And instead of just taking the easy field goal there at the goal line. And I'm not going to blame him on the one he threw like across his body, across field, because I've watched that work for him more often than not. So I'm allowing that to not be like, hey, don't do that. I've watched it work over 5 seasons. So I'm like, well, yeah, that's usually what happens. But for some reason, it doesn't for you. But I think that was it. I think they were getting too like, I really want to blow these guys out. Fuck them. They're talking about our grandmas and our kids and dogs and shit.
Talking about Greg's dog. It is
Greg's
crazy.
dog is dead.
Two alive. 2 of them are still alive.
Alan's got your back, dude. He's like, don't talk about Greg Bauk that way, man.
What are you talking about, Greg, about the co-host of In the Hunt?
With Sean and Kyle?
I don't think he listens.
It is crazy that we're at a point now where this is like our bad game. Like we only beat the Packers by 10.
I want to do the tweet of the game right now because I would like to get into that specifically. So tweet of the game, I found it pretty good. Halftime. This is from Paul. His name is @Paul427_. He said, I guess I'm a spoiled fan now because I've never been more underwhelmed by a win in all my life as a Bills fan. On to New Jersey.
In all his life.
Yeah, a bit of a hyperbole for sure, Paul. But here's why I think it's okay to be underwhelmed with the win and not be considered a shitty or like a baby because you're criticizing a win by 10. As the team gets better, you have to move, no pun intended, the goalposts of expectations. I'm never expecting the Bills to score 3 points in a half and Diggs have 1 catch for 10 yards in an entire half. It shouldn't happen. The Bills are too good for that to happen. So when it does happen, it's okay to be a little like, what the fuck was that? Especially in a game you're dominating. It's okay to be upset that the second half sucked and still be like, I'm glad they won, but you can't do that because we all know you can't do that against the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You just can't do that. And who knows, you might not be able to do it against the Eagles. But like, there's teams you could do that against and still win for sure. But the team the Bills need to beat, you can't do it against.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that this was a comeback to earth a little bit. Like, you're the best. That's okay. You beat the Packers, but you can't just fuck around on a football field and expect to win the game. And if you played both of those halves the same, you would have lost to the Packers. So when you play the Chiefs, when you play the Eagles, when you play the Vikings coming up, play a full game and don't mess around. And maybe this was also like almost like in-game training. Like, instead of, you didn't put the second stringers in, but what you did do is like, let's see how our run game works, because in the second half it didn't work as well, so let's work some things out there. So it was a good lesson on how to win an ugly game, I guess.
And it's good to get your moral victories while also getting your regular victories.
Yeah,
So that works.
that's what I always try and do in life.
Yeah. Do we want to talk boners of the game?
Sure.
I'll go first. I have a good one, which is Diggs scoring that touchdown, and then immediately the entire team keeping him from getting into a fight immediately after the touchdown. Like, he caught that and immediately got up and was like, "I'm gonna run over to the guy and shove this in his fucking face," and the entire team was like, "Whoa, whoa."
That was a nice moment. Yes. There was a moment where Allen ran. There was a lot of good moments in that, especially in the first half. Rousseau-Sack was pretty cool. I like seeing that, but my boner of the game was Allen took off running, got hit out in the sidelines, and the guy that hit him, he just got up and was just laughing in his face. And I've seen the film of it on the internet. They keep replaying it, but that was just a really cool moment. Like, because every time he gets hit, you just worried. Like, he got hit out of kind of going out of bounds. He's just like, just get back up, stop doing that, get back up. And he got up and he's literally like laughing. So,
I'm glad, Greg, you went a little left field with your Bone Town. So mine is at, I believe, the first quarter, Allen scrambles for a first down and he gets knocked out at like the 1. He almost runs in for a touchdown, but in that run, he makes a little juke of a guy. I believe his name is Darnell Savage. Great name, first off. Just jukes a little bit. And I swear to God, if you find the replay of that, this guy flies like 17 feet out of bounds. I mean, it's like he was playing Madden and just the guy juked him and he still pressed square button and the guy just dove out of bounds. Like, from just insane, not fell over. He dove out of bounds. And I still don't understand how people don't tackle, how Allen could juke somebody. He's massive. And it's not like he's like Lamar Jackson elusive. It's like he makes one move. I just don't understand how guys completely miss him. He's huge.
That's one of the most fun things about watching him is like, you can't really understand how it's happening.
And I think that the laugh was and that juke was, I think that was the same run.
Oh, maybe it was. I don't remember a guy.
We had boners at the same time.
Aw, we could have space docked.
Yeah, space docked.
This is probably the only football podcast where people bring up space docking, so we got that going for us.
We always get there eventually, just a little sooner than we normally do.
I would like to bring up real quick James Cook. I think he had 6 touches. Pretty effective, even with the long gain on the reception. But he had like 3-4 runs. I think he had 3 runs in a row where I think he picked up 2 first downs. And I thought they were going to continue him running, and they didn't, which I was a little upset. I don't know. The kid seems to be getting some confidence here. Let's keep feeding him the ball. I know Singletary's having a great game. There's nothing against Singletary, but I don't know. I think I'm okay. We might talk about this at the end of the pod a little bit with the trade deadline tomorrow.
I was just going to bring that up.
I would back off of running back, and that's not because James Cook did productive things with 6 touches. I'm just saying there's more important needs on this team.
Well, I agree. I wrote that down. Singletary is good. I think we have enough tape now that he's not elite, and it would be fun to have an elite running back on this team with Josh Allen, but he's good. And, Cook has looked a lot better. And also, if you really wanted an elite guy, you could have found a way to get Hall in that draft. You could have went back in the first round or went up in the second round. I mean, it's not like a lot of our mid-round picks. I mean, Shakir and Benford have looked good, but if you gave up the kick that got the offensive lineman who didn't make the team and the rapist punter and the third round backup linebacker, like, you could have went up and got at him if that was really, you really wanted that elite number one running back. So I don't understand giving up more stuff for another running back. I think you're good with Singletary and Cook, and we'll see what they do tomorrow. So we don't got to talk about it too much because it'll all be out of date as soon as people hear this. But I agree with you. I'm not crazy about getting a running back.
People want to hear our old takes exposed. Without knowing how Poyer's going to go. I'm going to talk to the people who listen right away. Like, there are people that cannot wait till we publish it.
Yes.
They click on our pod right away. Yeah. And this ain't old to them. This is fresh out of the oven. I'm worried about Poyer, and I think that getting safety help would make sense. Even if you don't get like an elite safety, you're going to need a body back there because the other two guys could get hurt too. And now you're down to what? So
safety depth, O-line depth, maybe a slot receiver.
Maybe a better backup quarterback. Maybe
I've thought about that. Who would you say?
That's stupid. Just get it. One of more of everything. Just keep getting.
I mean, just keep going. Trade every.
Who wants a ring? Who wants a ring? Come on.
Yeah, I know. Why not get the best backup quarterback? Maybe you'll need him in a half because the concussion spotter noticed something, and like heaven forbid.
What would it take for the Bills to get Patrick Mahomes out of Kansas City?
Josh Allen.
They got the ring. They don't care. Andy Reid's, he's done. Give Casey 2 firsts and a second for Patrick Mahomes, and then he can.
And we get his ring though. The Super Bowl is now ours.
Then we don't even have to play. We got it. Plan the parade.
Well, it was funny in the bye week episode, we talked a little bit about trading for McCaffrey. Obviously, he was traded, and for quite a haul.
Yeah, that was too much. That was way too much.
And one thing I haven't seen anyone talking about is with the Panthers trading McCaffrey, who moves up on the old Panther depth chart? Blackshear.
Oh.
He's in Carolina.
Our former preseason standout. And last week he debuted with, say it with me, 2 carries and negative 5 yards.
You said say it with you, but I don't know what you're going to say. So I think I did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. And you know what? And that wasn't a great start for him, but he turned it on this week and he had 2 rushes for 1 yard. So it's an improvement.
Which brings up a great point. Say it with me. Kyle can't read. I like this. I like this.
Well, you always hear about those preseason darlings, and then when the season starts, no one ever talks about them. And that's to say Blackshear can't still be a solid, third string running back or something. But it's like, he was,
Yeah, I said in the preseason episodes, there is nothing better than an undrafted running back. That's the story. An undrafted running back is everyone's favorite story. It's for, I don't know why that position and why it has to be undrafted, but the undrafted running back is everyone's favorite story in training camp.
Fred Jackson ruined that position for us because he was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And
so we'll always think, and that he had the same thing where he wasn't good for a while and then he was good. So
one more
my dogs are about to go crazy because kids are trick-or-treating. So
who's trick-or-treating at 5:30?
We're starting to hear them. They're out there. I'm not lying. Hear the dogs going after the kids.
Oh, okay. I thought it was maybe other
family
dogs.
Across the street.
Are they attacking?
Not.
Are they attacking the kids?
No. The dogs are in the house. There's a family across the street, and they moved in a little while ago, and they always have kids in the yard. So I thought they had like 3 or 4 kids. They're walking down the street right now, and I'm counting like 11 kids. I don't know if they brought in more kids for just today, like come to this neighborhood, but there's 11 fucking kids in that family.
Maybe they bought them like on the internet.
Yeah.
You know how you could buy a bride,
mm-hmm.
a Russian bride? Maybe they just bought kids and they were like, we want more kids. Candy.
It's illegal, but.
Well,
I wonder how
a lot of things are illegal.
I wonder how the Russian bride market is doing these days. It's probably tougher to get those Russian brides.
I don't know, man.
Supply chain issues.
I think it's easier.
Yeah, it might be.
That's sad. That made me sad. This is a sad ref.
The dark web used to be like this unattainable, like I don't know how to get to it. And I'm pretty sure you could just Google dark web and get to it now. So I don't think it's that hard to get things.
Dark web.
Now my mom's on the dark web getting pork chop recipes
yeah.
and shit.
That's where I get.
I was on the dark
Nikes.
web with Debbie the other day, and she recommended a book. Called the Koran.
One thing I want to talk about, still on the game, is why doesn't Stefan Diggs put in his little mouth guard?
Yeah, because he was talking shit.
hmm
You can't talk shit with a
I've
mouth
noticed
guard
this since the beginning of the season. He always leaves it out when he's running his routes, and
Mm.
I will say it's almost better than the people, these chewers. You ever see that when people are chewing on their mouth guard?
I was
There's a
a
long,
chewer.
long shot of Mahomes doing it in the Chiefs
it on
game where
there.
he's just on the sideline, just smacking down on it, and pretty gross.
It's
Well-
impossible to have a mouth guard in your mouth and not
Yeah.
chew it.
Sean,
From
did you
football.
not? Did you play Little League baseball?
I didn't play baseball because I'm cool, but I played
That doesn't make sense. But
hockey and soccer.
Did you wear a mouth guard to play baseball, Kyle?
yeah, they made. Well, when I was young, they made us. It was
They
the
made
same.
you?
I mean, they made us wear a mouth guard and a cup.
To play baseball?
I mean, when we were like up to bat and shit, they made us wear a mouth guard.
Yeah, I've never. Wow, I know I'm much older, but that sounds insane to me. How did you talk? Like baseball's all about the chatter. We want first round.
I don't-
You had to wear the mouth guard.
I mean, how good do you think we were? What in the field? Do you think we were fucking telling each other what to do? Dude, I was looking at.
But you might be
daisies
good
and
enough to
shit.
not try and catch the ball with your teeth.
Yeah.
No, we were not. Most kids are uncoordinated and shitty at sports.
We just found out Kyle played baseball with 8 golden retrievers.
I was in a kennel.
At the ball in their mouth.
It wasn't even baseball. My parents dropped me off at a doggy daycare.
Wait a minute, this is a dog park. Why does it say clean up after yourself? Oh, it's a dog park.
The best thing I learned in baseball was you can shit anywhere. And someone will pick it up with a bag.
Just picturing Kyle in right field sitting on the ground, scratching the back of his ear with his leg.
I have long hair. I'm just trying to fit in with my team.
Someone says good play and pats him on the back, and he does the paw thing where he hit the right spot. This episode's gotten out of control.
I look behind. Keep scratching my butt.
This episode's gotten out of
It
control.
is. Well, we have a guest we're going to bring on for a little bit here, but do we have anything more on the game that we want to say before we get into it?
Absolutely. not.
I'm excited for Trey White to come back, and I don't know if Tremaine Edmonds is bad anymore. I don't know anymore.
Ooh.
I don't know. I'm not saying I want him re-signed, but I just don't know anymore. I just don't know.
That's big
I
of
don't know
you.
how football works.
Yeah.
And let's go get a slot receiver, baby.
All right. Well, go get your friend.
All right, we're back. I don't know how you're gonna edit this, Sean. We didn't
What?
really do an intro, but we're bringing on a guest who is a ex-Bills fan, new Pats fan as of 8 years ago, when she couldn't take the Bills losing anymore, understandably. This is Tessie, everybody.
Me.
Greg,
Hi.
Sean, that's Tessie.
Thanks for having me on.
Tessie,
She's been
what
bugging
was-
me for years to come on, and
I have actually.
finally.
I'm glad we have a Packers fan because I want to know what your perspective is watching that team, knowing that they were not interested in winning the game. They just didn't want to lose badly. It was like me in life, like fly under the radar
Yeah.
and try not to embarrass yourself. That's what that was.
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough for us. There's this year that's goes without saying. I mean, I think most of us kind of had that attitude that we just didn't want the score to be like 44-0. You know what I mean? We knew that we weren't going to win against you guys. We lost to Washington, you know. It's I don't know. I have like a kind of a good attitude though overall about it. Like I'm not too upset after the games. We just can't seem to figure it out. But at this point, you know, we're going to finish the season and see where we're at, right? And try to see if we can figure it out from there. But as far as, you know, an attitude of like not wanting to to win, just not lose badly. I mean, I guess what else, you know, could I ask for? It was only 10 points, right? So
How do you have a good attitude when your life is over, though?
yeah, I mean, we're done, right? Like it's I don't think we can come back from it. You know, the Vikings and the Lions are doing well. It's not going to go well. It's not going to go well for the end of it. And I guess I'm just going to, you know, what is going on in the NFL? How could you, any NFL fan, the Eagles are undefeated. Tom Brady has fallen from grace as well as Aaron Rodgers and is getting a divorce from Giselle. Aaron Rodgers, who has been largely a guy who a man of few words, is now on ayahuasca and talking about being immunized. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
been a full turnaround from the league, just a few years ago. So it's just been wild, and I'm just rolling with it, right?
I have a lot of Packer questions, but I first want to
Sure.
know, you probably watched some games with Kyle, right?
I have, yeah.
Is that safe to say?
That's safe to say, yeah.
Okay, you're the sister of the woman Kyle's dating. I will put that out there.
That's
Oh,
correct.
I didn't even know
Yeah.
that. Okay. Yeah.
That's
So
right. I'm
are
You
very
didn't know that, Greg? I put that.
I was
in the
like, how does
message.
Kyle know two women? Like, how
How does he know two women with the same last name? Now that's
With the sa-
crazy.
yeah, that would
I
Now,
didn't
be
even make
so
quite
are
a
you-
coincidence.
Are you like the Alexander of watching like, are you needling Kyle? Are you telling him he a little boy out there? And like, is there trash talk before the game? Like, because I mean,
Yeah.
your team has been good for a while,
Yeah, yeah.
and Kyle's team / our team has been terrible. Have you been
Sure.
laying into him for years?
I don't know if Kyle would agree with this. I think that Kyle and I have a good football rapport. Like, we talk, I think, intelligently about it together. I don't know that there's much of like trash talk, more so than it's like, hey, you guys really, the Bills kind of, I mean, that sucked, right? And he's just like, yeah, Green Bay, we're doing great, for usually, that's kind of the rapport I've had. I don't know that it's been, I don't know, maybe Kyle, what do you think? Like, have I ever been
No.
really bad about the Bills?
I was on no ground for years to
Yeah.
talk shit.
Sure.
Was I going to be like, oh, your quarterback's pretty hot and pretty good at this stuff? So
I will
Yeah.
I will say that, and Tessie, maybe you were gracious about this. This is something I think about. Like, we don't like. This is Buffalo. This can go bad really quick. Like it has before with all of our sports teams. You know that as a Bills fan at one point. I would never talk shit to another team based on their sports team, like another person based on their
Yeah.
sports team. Even if they were like annoying, I wouldn't engage with that because I just think that's really
that's
stupid
the
to do.
wrong take, Greg.
Yeah,
No, it's the perfect
That's
take
the
to me.
wrong take.
I
Well,
don't-
she's
I
saying
don't
like, oh, you
think-
guys, like, I don't play for the fucking team. Like, I don't
I
score
don't-
their touchdowns.
Here's the difference. Like there's cities for sure I'll talk shit about.
Yeah.
1,000,000,000%. You know what I mean?
Boston
if I
and
run
Philly.
across an Arizona Cardinals fan, I'm not going to talk shit. But yeah, Pittsburgh, Boston, even Philly, I'll talk shit just because fuck them. Who cares? But like Green Bay is like, I wouldn't, because we you know what I mean? Like, it's not like they lucked into anything. But I think it's funny to talk shit now because, like Tessie said, they're falling apart after their star quarterback outright did an illegal drug in a different country. He went to a different country and did ayahuasca, comes back, and now he's worse. That's not how ayahuasca works. You're supposed to be better. And so I think it's funny that they're falling apart now, and he's just kind of like, especially with ayahuasca, you're supposed to have like these revelations that make you calm and like see the world in a different light. And I imagine he's just on the sideline. Like, there's a video yesterday with them down 17 points, like in the third quarter or in the fourth quarter, and he's laughing with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. And now I'm not saying they can't laugh. I'm not one of those guys, but I imagine him on the sidelines losing and just being like, this is crazy, right? Like, just like out in outer space. He's just like, I love you guys, man. And they're like, shut up.
He took ayahuasca and he was like, oh, I stink.
Yeah.
Oh, I stink now.
It might be a situation where
Whoa.
he took it, came back, and was like, I don't really want this.
Yeah.
I kind of just want to hang out in the
Yeah.
woods.
Yeah.
Where do you get this ayahuasca?
I will also just
Peru,
quickly say
man.
Dark web.
I will quickly say that now that the Bills are good, I'm at least being a little bit of a cocksucker to other fans. I think that's a fun jacket to try on. I've never got to try that. So, you meet Jets or Giants fans here in New York. I'm like, hey, your
You're
team
sucking their
stinks.
cock?
Don't believe in that record.
Oh.
Oh no, yeah. I was going the other cocksucker.
Oh,
way.
okay.
Yeah.
He'll suck him off while talking shit.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to.
Mouthful of dick. He's like, Josh Allen's the best.
What
It sounds
loser.
exactly like Kyle playing Little League Baseball.
Oh my God.
When I took ayahuasca, I was like, it's the balance. It's very important. You want to make them feel good while also jabbing them a little bit.
I love the idea of Sean literally never drinking a day in his life, never smoking a day in his life, and just being like, I'm going to go to ayahuasca.
Just straight to the hard
right
stuff.
yeah, right to outer space with Sean.
Okay, so let's back on some Green Bay questions.
Oh, sure.
Here.
Yeah.
I must think it must be a little weird to be a Green Bay fan because they have been good for a long time, but they've only in recent times. I mean, Rodgers has only been to and won one Super Bowl, and that seems like so disappointing for a perennial MVP player and organization.
Yeah. I mean, I can make the argument too that like, you know, yeah, we have been good in the past, but I also went to 3 NFC championships and lost all of them in a row. Do you know what I'm saying? So like we get there but we just can't get past, you know, the 49ers. We just can't get past, you know, one team. And that's frustrating. You know what I mean? As a fan, like I get that you guys are Bills fans and it's been through it, you know what I mean? Like way worse than I have as a newer fan, I guess. But yeah, like even though we've been good, like it's still been a disappointment because like you said, I have Aaron Rodgers, who is going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback, and I have one Super Bowl, right? And it doesn't look like, you know, we got to get it together. It's not going to happen this year. And I hope that we can figure it out and maybe next year will be better. But, you know, we've been right on the cusp, right on the edge of that. And you're right. You know, we haven't won in 12 years. So it's, you know, that's tough to take too, for sure.
Do you think the Packers are I imagine one star wide receiver away from being exactly what they were the past 3 years at 13-3? Or are you like they need a little more than that?
Well, I think we need more than that. You know, my biggest pet peeve is listening to people talk about Davante Adams this year and like what a difference maker he was. Did him and Rodgers have a great connection? Obviously. But he wasn't the only guy out there catching the ball and making touchdowns, right? Like it wasn't just Davante like all the time.
For a while
right?
it was, I think. Literally, I think it was him and that's it.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, we have in my opinion too, our 2 best players right now are running backs, and they're very underutilized. Against you guys, that wasn't going to make a difference because you guys are great on both sides of the ball, right? But we need to be using them more because Aaron Jones is so diverse. Like he can be a wide receiver too, right? And like we're going to need him to be. And I need to see more of that, but they're very underutilized. And we need some more work, and we need these guys to step up. Romeo Doubs, I think, stepped up last night, and I like that. I guess that was
there are teams that could win with those good running backs. I don't think they're a threat in terms of like Super Bowls, but you see a team like Tennessee that, you know, could run for 200 yards, throw for 57. And it's like, you could probably make the playoffs doing that, you know, if you have the right formula and the right players. And then you throw in Aaron Rodgers, who's way better than Malik Willis / Tannehill, that, you know, crazy things have happened.
I will say this, Davante Adams was not the only like problem, him not being there, but you look at what Diggs did last night, and Green Bay did a pretty good job of like eliminating everyone but Diggs. And Diggs showed a lot last night why he's elite. You know, he was the only real option that the Bills had throwing the ball for a lot of that game. He's just so damn good, and a receiver that good can make a big difference. So even if he's not the only problem there, Adams, that is. So
and I agree with that too, because he was great on Minnesota. I'm glad he's not around me anymore. You know what I mean? Like Stefon Diggs is great, and I agree with that. I'll agree with that.
Now, are the Bills your number 2 team? Are you switching back? Are you a fair weather now that the Packers are bad? Are you back to Team Kyle?
I can't be a fair weather fan. I got to stick with it because you know, I love it. I love going there. I've been to Lambeau twice. The fans are amazing. It was great to be around the fans here too.
There were a lot last night. There were a lot of Green Bay fans. And I'll say this, I happened to be in the same section.
Yes.
Just by coincidence. And a lot of the Green Bay fans had an attitude of like, we know we're going to lose. We're here to have fun.
Yeah.
None of them were real dickheads. Like they were doing the shout song and cheering. Like when even the Bills made a play. So it was one of those that are like, yeah, we're probably going to lose. But I mean, we had this planned anyways, and it's fun. The Bills are a fun franchise to go see. So this will be fun, even if
that's like a sci-fi movie where an evil guy takes over the world and like the bootlicker steps up. It's like, I'll be your servant. Like I'll help kill other humans if you don't hurt me. That's what that sounds like.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They were talking shit, but like I said, they were very just happy to be there almost.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, that's true. I walked around all the tailgates. They were, I mean, everybody said the same thing too. Just they were like, everyone in Buffalo is so nice. We're all having a great time. We've been here all the weekend. We've been eating chicken wings. Like everybody was excited, even though, like Kyle said, we knew we were going to lose. But
Tessie, you seem very nice, but your team can go to hell.
yeah, that's okay. Understood. Understood.
I have a maybe a final question, unless Kyle or Greg have anything. Is it weird to see your quarterback go from like arguably one of the most well-liked quarterbacks to arguably one of the most disliked quarterbacks? Like 2 years ago, everyone loved Aaron Rodgers. They're like, this guy could host Jeopardy. Like he's won only
He's the
one
anti-Tom Brady.
Yeah, he has a little personality. He's won enough that he's good, but not enough to be annoying. And I feel like most people liked him, and now it's just like he's obviously a certain portion of people really dislike him, but I think there are even just a general football fan is kind of like, you're a bit, you've fallen from grace.
For sure. Yeah. And a lot of that is like, when you think back to the Aaron Rodgers that everyone loves, like he didn't say a whole lot, right? He was just giving interviews, kind of like a Josh Allen type, saying what everybody wanted to hear. And then for whatever reason, he decides he needs to open his mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, man. It's like, I don't care if you're doing ayahuasca. I don't care, really what, who you're dating. I don't care what you're doing. But if like, I just like, I don't know why we got to open our mouths. You know what I mean? Like just go back to being a guy who is great at football, is doing the commercials, is doing Jeopardy, and just doesn't say a whole lot and does his job. That's all.
He used to do the cool championship belt thing when he would score.
That's right.
Now he doesn't even do that. Probably because they didn't score. But
well, he doesn't. No, he's not a guy who's gonna run. He doesn't want to do all that. He wants to throw.
well, now, unless you guys have any final questions, we're going to go into a trivia game.
Okay.
Trivia, baby.
Oh, before we do our trivia, we always have our number one Patreon, Thomas Mulcahy. He has a blurb.
I was with Tom today.
Oh,
yesterday. If you're listening to this, the next day.
He said he can't see Aaron Rodgers without thinking of the meme saying he looks like he steals catalytic converters.
I like that.
So
I saw another one. It said Aaron Rodgers looks like Nick Cage playing Aaron Rodgers in a movie about Tom Brady.
That's
very true. I like that one.
We always have a jersey to play for in honor of our guest. We will play for an Aaron Rodgers jersey, but instead of Rodgers, I scratched that out and I put Dr. Fauci. We're really gonna stick it to him.
We'll stick it to him.
I thought for sure you would have chose Don Beebe. For sure.
Or Western New York native Don Makowski, former Packers quarterback.
Shut up. Who is that, Greg?
Nerd.
Magic Man. A Magic Man poster in my room.
You're old.
Okay, we have 4 rounds of this game today. I did this game 2 weeks ago, but this is the first time I believe this season we were on NBC. So we're gonna play a game. Is this a show on NBC or a show I made up?
Oh no, I think Tessie's gonna get this one.
I don't know. I don't watch a whole lot of cable, but
kids don't watch NBC anymore. My parents would kick ass.
My parents would. They would all the Law and Orders. Sure.
Yeah, this is no Peacock shows. This is NBC only. So we're gonna start with Kyle here. Kyle, your show, is this real on NBC or did I make it up? The American Song Contest.
Jesus Christ. Why not?
No, man. That's a horrible name for a show.
It sounds like a Japanese name for a
That's a translated name.
I wish that was that I would watch that and watch the shit out of that.
Well, Tessie, I got good news for you. It is a real show, and you can watch the shit out of it. It's on NBC, and it's hosted by Snoop Dogg and Kelly Clarkson.
Are you kidding me?
What? No.
Yep.
What are they?
I'm gonna fact check.
What is it about? I mean, I get it. Probably it's music, but
what do you think it's about? It's about people singing on television. That's all television is. They're either singing or getting hit.
It's like they combined all the shitty music shows.
Greg, your show, real or fake? Law and Order, organized crime.
So the mafia, Law and Order mafia.
Anybody could be organized, not just Italians, Greg.
Yeah, right. No, that's not a show. That sounds stupid.
Greg, that is a show.
No, it's not.
It's not.
All right,
Organized
Tessie,
crime.
let's see if you
Okay.
could be the first one to get on the board here. La Brea.
What?
La Brea.
La Brea.
Not a show.
That's
That's
a
a
show.
I've
All
heard
right.
that before.
Zeros on the board. We're going to go back to Kyle. Kyle, your show, Law and Order.
Period.
Period. No semicolon, just Law and Order.
I don't know if it's on NBC.
And also, is it still just on?
No, it's got to be on. Yes. I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Good job, Kyle. That's correct.
Okay.
Wow.
That had to
Nice
be.
job.
Greg, your second show, Burn It Down.
No, this is the theme of the Bills season, so I'm going to say no.
That's correct, Greg. Good
Not a show?
reasoning,
Man.
not a show.
If that was going to be like a firefighter show,
Yeah. There is a firefighter show.
oh,
Right.
there's 17.
Kyle, you would
they
love
all,
it.
They all have Dennis Leary.
This one doesn't. He,
All right,
he
Tessa,
burned
you
it
gotta
down.
you gotta keep pace
First
here.
episode.
Okay.
Your show, New Amsterdam.
Not a show.
That
That's
is
a
a
show.
show.
Oh,
All right, we're at the
Guess where
half,
it's set. Guess where the show is set.
we're at the halfway point. It's 1-1-0. Plenty of time. You should get two more shows. Kyle, your show, Dancing with Myself.
As opposed to stars.
Oh,
No, that's not a show. Dancing with Myself is not
That
a
is
show.
a show.
That's a
It is
show.
not a show.
It's a show on NBC.
What kind of dancing?
But you'll have
All
to tune
kinds?
in. You'll
Is
have
this
to
a
tune in to
contest
find out.
Ask
But
Billy
Greg,
Idol.
Greg, your show, The Weakest Link.
Come on.
Now I've heard of that as a show.
Mhm.
Don't know if it's still on. I don't know if it's NBC. So I'm going to go away from the Law and Order logic and say no, it's not a show on NBC anymore.
It is a show on NBC.
Damn it! Why can't anyone think of an idea for an actual show?
Well, Tessa, you can still
Oh
tie.
my God.
You can still tie
Dude.
it up here.
Dancing with Myself
Yes.
is a dance show hosted by Shakira and
Uh-huh.
one of the Jonas Brothers.
Uh-huh.
And she creates dance challenges. That's
She needs to
pretty
make
cool.
money because doesn't she owe a lot of taxes? She's like about to go to jail.
I think that's true.
Shakira?
Yeah, she like committed tax fraud or something in Spain or Colombia or something like that.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? It's like NBC's like, we need a new host. What is Kyle Turner up to? Okay, Tessie, your show here to tie everyone back up. Better late than never.
Not a show.
Correct. That is not a
Wow,
show.
got
Mm.
one.
Everyone is tied up at 1. This is our final round. There will be an overtime if necessary. Kyle, your show, Chicago PD.
Yeah. Yeah. That's 1,000% a show.
That is a show. Well done.
I
Greg,
hope mine is Chicago FD. Or FD Chicago.
Greg,
but-
your show is Chicago Fire.
Yes, 100% yes.
That is a show. Well
Oh
done.
my God, I hate television.
Tessie, your show, Chicago Med.
No. Chicago.
Wait, I think it is a show, isn't it?
It is a show.
Yeah.
Yes. We're going into overtime.
It's like Chicago Reception.
We're going into overtime. Kyle, your show,
Chicago Pharmacy.
Chicago
Oh.
Gang Unit.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, sure.
No, that's not a show.
Not a show.
You're
Damn it.
out. Greg, your show, American Auto.
What? No, that wouldn't be like an NBC show. That's not on NBC. That's like on like one of them upper channels.
That's a show. And Tessie, you can
Wow.
take this here. The whole game's on the line. The Aaron Rodgers Fauci
Oh my
jersey.
god.
Your show, Family Game Fight.
That's
a
another
show.
Japanese.
That's a show.
That is a show.
Yeah.
Well done.
God.
I would have guessed no. That's
Wait,
not-
Family Game Night or Fight?
Family Game Fight.
Wow.
Hmm,
That's off-brand Family Feud.
yeah,
Well,
sounds terrible.
Well done, Tessie, coming in as the guest, as our guests normally do, and beating Greg and Kyle.
Man.
Yes, I had to win with something, right? The team
Right.
didn't win, so
Yeah, we get the game.
Well, Kyle will hand deliver that jersey to you, so don't
Yeah.
Perfect.
you worry.
Perfect.
Thanks, Tessie.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Don't ever change.
I'll try not to. I won't. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you for joining us.
See you,
Thanks,
Tess.
guys. See ya.
Okay, now we want to quickly we gotta talk a Patreon surprise, but before that, we got a preview at the Jets. Jets have a pretty good record, but Zach Wilson throws for 84 yards a game. I'm not that worried. They've had some injuries.
It's a paper tiger of a team, for
Yeah.
sure.
So, but Kyle, what do you think? Away game, you don't want to overlook anyone. How are the Bills?
Yeah.
What do they got to do to win this game?
This one's easy, and I think you know what it's going to be.
Oh, can I guess?
Yes.
Okay. Here's my guess, Greg. I have a good guess.
Please don't do my voice.
I won't do your voice. Zach Wilson got there was some rumors. I don't even think rumors confirmed that he had sex with his friend's mom. So I think
No. His mom's friend.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yes,
It
you're
was a
right.
mom, yes.
His mom's friend. Yes. So I think Kyle's key to the game, I'm guessing,
Mhm.
is you get a bunch of MILFs. You
Yes.
put them. Where do you hold on? Where do you put the MILFs? You put them, I guess, just in the stands, and he's looking at all of them, and he just gets sacked every play. And the Bills
Everyone
win by
bring their
80
mom to
points.
the game. I love it.
You
You'll
guys
never be
guessed
able to
it
play.
exactly.
Not
Any
you
Bills
guys,
fan-
I did. That was me. Greg did not add
Well,
anything.
you were 90% there, and then Greg guessed it with "bring your mom to the game day." It's
Gotcha.
and that's what any Bills fan going, buy an extra ticket, bring your Ma Dukes,
Maybe-
let Zach Wilson bang her in public.
Maybe mom.
If
maybe
it's-
mom shows
this
some
is-
shoulder.
Yeah,
This
is the real. What would you do for a Bills to win the Super Bowl? For the Bills to win the Super Bowl, let Zach Wilson bang your mom. It's
I don't
okay.
think. I mean, bring your mom. Let her have some fun.
Mhm.
They're going to win this game by 4 touchdowns. It's going to be 31-3.
Yeah. I agree.
I usually predict a Bills loss.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go against my intuition here. Did I use that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Intuition? Okay. And I'm going to say the Bills win 49-10. I think
Wow.
Case Keenum throws for 200 yards in this game.
Whoa. I
Yeah.
would definitely be a little more scared if Hall was still in there. They lost a guard who was playing real well. I mean, I still think they would have won, but now I'm
Yeah.
just not even scared in the slightest.
I read today on Twitter that versus pressure, Zach Wilson has a QBR of 7.
Yeah.
And the Bills create the most pressure.
Yeah.
So unless something happens between now and Sunday where our entire defensive line is out and they acquire at the trade deadline all new offensive linemen, I just can't. If they lose this game, it will be worse than the Jacksonville game.
Oh, okay. That's
Because-
a nice prediction.
They are 5-3 or 5-2.
It
What are
doesn't.
they?
They're not a 5-3. I mean,
Yeah.
they are something like they're like 5-2 or 6-2 or something.
I believe
like
they're
that. I don't know.
5-3.
But like,
They lost to Jacksonville with what's his name as coach, the Ohio
I
State
hear
guy,
you,
whose name I can't
but
remember.
the difference is this season.
Urban Meyer. Yeah.
This season is different
Yeah.
in terms of. Also, remember, like 3 offensive linemen were out that game
Mhm.
in Jacksonville. The Bills are almost 100% healthy on offense, and that's really all you need. And that will make it worse unless there's some kind of crazy shit that happens where, like in Miami, where a bunch of guys are now out at the end of the game. I just can't see how they can even get close to putting points on the Bills.
How about this, Kyle? They beat the Packers by 17 points away. We only beat the Packers by 10 points at home. I mean, sounds like we're going to lose.
Yeah, you're right. I changed it up. Jets are winning 49-10. There are going to be 0 women in the stands. It's going to be so many men that Zach Wilson just is going to be so dialed in because he's going to be like, well, if all the men are here, that means all the moms are watching.
It'll be funny if they, the defensive line plays, everyone's happy, and the Bills decide to like send 2 blitzers every play too. Just like kill Zach Wilson. Like because the pass rush, it's going to generate enough with just 4.
Yeah.
But if they decide, you know what, let's just blitz every play. Who cares?
I love the idea of the Bills coaches coming out and seeing only men in the stadium and going, oh no, Zach's going to bring it today.
All right, we got to go.
Yes,
This
yes,
is
we gotta
borderline torture.
Yes. It is borderline torture. That's our subtitle. Well, to end, we
Borderline torture in the Huntcast. Borderline torture. We got to change it. I think it's better than a Buffalo Bills podcast. Borderline torture is great.
It's kind of the same thing, but
we have to end with not only plugging our Patreon, but we have a bonus coming for Patreon members. We finally have a t-shirt coming out. That's right. So if you're a Patreon member who's giving us $3 and above, you will get a t-shirt for free. You don't got to do anything. This week, I'm going to message you and get your size, and then we're going to get it to you in the next month or so. So you get a nice free In the Hunt shirt. And that's always been our thing with the Patreon. We want to give, we want to, what do we want to under promise and over deliver? What we want to do. So, and you know what? If you're not a member of the Patreon, go be a member. Go. $3 gets you an extra bonus episode a month. $6 gives you 2 bonus episodes a month. And now you get the free t-shirt.
But don't try to play that shit if you're a new Patreon. We will wait months to send you a shirt so we make our money back. Don't think you're signing up for $3 and getting a fucking free shirt. I'm cheap. You're earning that
You know
shirt.
what? I have faith in our product. If they sign up just for the t-shirt, try and pull that shit, they're going to hear the bonus episodes and how good they are, and they're going to stay. They're going to be like, I want to meet these guys, Mom.
Don't listen to them. I will not let them.
Just before the podcast started, we talked about doing a 3-part Patreon of ranking the hottest coaches. So you're going to want to stay around in that Patreon.
1 to 32, baby.
Yeah.
So I'm going to I'll include it on the Twitter if you're just listening to us, but if you're watching us on YouTube, I am going to share the t-shirt design with you now. There it is.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There's been a while since we gave away a
it's-
t-shirt.
It's very inside baseball.
If this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. And
you
also,
don't want this shirt.
this isn't going to make a lot of sense to you.
No.
But we will often reference the band Stained, and I don't even know why, but we will always
know why
sing.
either.
It's been a while. My dogs are barking. But
Well, I'll explain. So for those who can't see it, we have a cartoon buffalo playing an acoustic guitar made to look like the lead singer of Stained. And it says in the Huntcast, it's been a while. He's singing next to the AFC championship trophy there because, it's been a while, but we're ready to get over the hump, baby.
that's a John Shuda original.
Yeah, John Shuda did the drawing. Brian Brady helped us with
Yeah.
getting it onto a t-shirt. We
John
thank both of
Shuda did
them.
the drawing, and it only took him 7 months.
Well, it's been a while since we asked Shuda to do a drawing.
Maybe that's when we told him like it's been a while, and he was like, "Oh, you want that on the shirt?" I thought you were saying,
Hey, John, it's been a while. Yeah.
So that's our reminder. Sign up for the Patreon. And then too, we got a couple dollar people out there, but bump it up to $3 to get this t-shirt. And also with the $1 Patreon, you get a Greg Bauk weekly blog, and you about twice a month, you get free tickets to Helium in Buffalo. So that's a fun little bonus. So yeah, $3 and up Patreon, you get a free t-shirt coming this month. Care of us. So sign up, baby. And if you're already signed up, get excited.
Mhm.
You're going to get free tickets to a show that 2 of us are on coming up. So
That's true. And I mean, maybe in that one, Kyle won't clear his throat every 30 fucking seconds.
I got a tickle.
I did not even notice. That's hilarious. This must have been driving Sean crazy.
I just want to say I have a show in Auburn, New York on Thursday at Prison City Brewery. If we
Okay.
have any
It's
people
Jeremy
out in
White's hometown.
Auburn, New York.
Yeah. Well,
All right, that's it. We are
Yeah,
not.
that's
surpassing
it.
an
We're
hour.
wrapping
Don't get
it up.
upset with me. I'm telling you, it's it.
Go to see Kyle. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Sign up for the Patreon.
We just said all
And
that. What do you think?
I
they're
put out a
deaf?
really good tweet today, and one person liked it.
I didn't even see it. I'll
It
never
was
find it.
almost groundbreaking. I thought it was going to change my life, and it got one like by a guy who I think liked it ironically.
All right. Well, you know what? Go like Kyle's tweet. Send any emails to inthehuntcast@gmail.com.
This
and we'll
is Jimmy Dean, Jimmy Dean, Jimmy Dean, Jimmy Dean. In this house we call home. Everyone hail to the sausage song. When did you become an alt comic?
Isn't that funny?
It's tremendous. I love it.
Retweet it.
I don't know what's going on, but this was a fun episode. Go Bills. We'll see you next week for the Jets episode. Sign up for the Patreon. We love you, Sweeto.
Sweeto.
Bye.
The Bills won.